All right. Welcome to the part 2 of the stream. We're going to take yet again. We're going to work on the diagram editor. So everyone who's already in the stream, say hello. What we're going to do in this stream? This is basically our plan of attack. And basically the slogan is so we don't have to repeat ourselves. Currently, the thing is that we can already create this diagram in this application, but the problem is when we're closing the and we had a drop in the connection for some reason. Everything's okay again? Okay. Sorry about that. Why are we... Are you again? Okay again? I don't know what's happening. All right. Seems that everything is okay now again. Let's hope that it stays good enough. Okay. That's a bit worrying, but all right. All right. So this is what we are going to implement. And of course, if you have any questions, then please let me know. All right. So the first step, I also made sure that we have a screenshot. So first, we need to make sure that we have the NuGet package for the Newton soft available in here. I think we already have it. Let's verify it first. NuGet package and Newton soft. Yes, it's been installed only in MQTT, but not. Oh, okay. Let's also add it in here. Yes. All right. So we have now the possibility to serialize and deserialize JSON data. Then we're going to create a new directory for the services. All right. And let's add a class, which is called the data loader service. All right. And I also completely forgot we also need to have something like a JSON connector. So we're going to call it yes. converter, add directory converters, because the nice thing is that I do have here my example setup, because yeah, I can also not remember everything. And basically I made my own utility where I can just make quick notes, and also by using tagging. So before we entered the stream, I made sure that we have some examples how to write basically those. And the way that we wanted to do this is that because we do have one big challenge, is that in the main game object, before we are able to serialize or deserialize it, we have this list of iFuzzle items, and basically this is an interface which can be anything where the data can change. But the problem is that the serializer doesn't know which one it needs to be which one it needs to inject. So that is what we first need to make sure that we have that correctly aligned. So, and that can be done by reflection, which is why I cannot access my. There you go. Let's pick this one, and we have the reflection here. And basically, we want to get everything from a specific interface. But first, we need to make sure that we have the custom serializer. So I'm just going to drag it over here. And we're going to make a new class, which is called the visual item converter, or no, of just can also make it generic. Do we want to make it generic? No. Visual item converter, yes. Which is then a JSON converter. Oh no. Just visual item converter. Yes, that's fine. And then we can use the implementation for the JSON converter, and we want to use the visual item in here. Then it requires some implementations. Let's generate those. There you go. That's one big benefit of doing the stream, of no, not the stream, but that we can just load everything in. All right. Then first thing first is we need to make sure that we have the object, which is an J object. It is basically can be anything from object value serializer. There you go. What is it complaining about? Possible null references in O. Okay. Let's ignore it for now. Objects at first. This is basically what we want to do here is that when we're going to serialize something, then we want to add an additional node that we can add the name of that specific object in there. That's the whole point of this in between for the write JSON. Otherwise, it will have a hard time to read it out. that's the type. And the value, no, the value dot get type dot name. So then we have the name of the specific object. Then we're going to write this specific part, which is awesome. And this is the only thing that we need to do. Then when we are outputting the JSON, then for each item, it will also add the type as well. And now comes the nice part, is that now we're going to read the JSON, which this part is a bit more complex. But before we can do that, is that first we need to have all the types in here. So that basically means, and it will be personally, it will be better if this one is doing it automatically, in my opinion. So what we're going to do here is we're making sure that everything is loaded in. And let me think. Yes. Let me open up. And that is something we're going to do with reflection. All right. Let's use the, yes, this one. Yeah, I am just picking up from here. And let's just take this example, because that's the one that we need. Then in here, and we're going to use from the iAssemble and then to list. Then we have all the items. And then what we're going to do is we make here a private dictionary. And the reason is that because we need to make a map between the name and the type. So then, because here we are writing the type, but then we also need to map it back for somehow. And that's the whole point for this. Then we have the types. There you go. And we're just going to make it as a new one, new dictionary type, which is nice. And the most amazing part is if we do it in this way, then, and when we're going to make a new visual item, then you don't have to think about edit it somewhere else. Which is most of the time the place where it goes wrong. So that's the main reason behind it. And let's make a result. Then we have the, of course, the type, which is good. And let's add the type, add. And we will have the results dot call it results. Oh yeah, of course, type the name. This time the writer did give the correct suggestions, because before, funny enough, it was just not getting the correct suggestions, which was a bit odd in my opinion. Okay, but enough bubbling. Let's add the other part as well. So let's add the other read.json. Yes. Then we're going to pick this example. We're just going to paste it, and let's go line for line what it does. So in here we have indeed that is going to load, because even if you are just loading in an example, and yes, then maybe it's cheating, but in my opinion, especially if you are doing it for your work, then if you can just getting the same result faster and you also know how it works, then I think it's, in my opinion, better. I don't know how you are thinking about this, but let me know. All right. Then we have the target type, which is the type name. Yes. Then the target will be from the we have, of course, the types dot try get value with the type dot name and out for dot type. Quickly going to check what's up. Oh, nothing important. All right. So we now have the type. All right. But if we don't have the correct type, then we're going to send return null if it isn't able to get the correct type. And also, just for temporary, we're going to just write a line here with write line that we can enable to cannot find type name. Then we have at least safeguarded that specific part. All right. Then we have the activator dot create instance. And then it's from the type. That is making sure that we have the correct type in here. Then it will be targets for targets. Create instance type, and then we can also say visual item dot why is it complaining? There's null in focus, but oh. My visual item. No. No, this is not correct, because we should do it like this, and then visual item, and then just because it was complaining about that it was not able to understand if this is a really incorrect line to do, but but we are completely sure that it's going to do the correct thing, because before we are try to load the type in, and we are trying to get it from the dictionary, and we are only loading things in related to the iVisual item. So we are guaranteed that this will be an iVisual item. Okay. That part is correct. Then we have the target. And then we have our converter ready. And this should be everything for this. Cool. All right. No biggie. And let's make sure that everything is ready. Then I think we are ready to write the data service. And then I need to look up the example again. Yes, then is settings, add converters. Oh yeah, settings, and then we can. Yeah, I understand. So we have this one, and we need to inject from the visual item converter. And this is then the settings that we are going to use. All right, and we need to. This is making sure that we have everything correctly set up. And why is it used can be converted to a local variable? No. Oh wait, yeah, of course. All right. Also, we have something that we, for now, because I am not going to implement a full file open and close dialog. So, in my opinion, I think it's just better to make an to make a directory, because if you look here in the open in here, the plan is that we're just going to make a folder in here with the JSON files, and then you can just select which item you want from that specific list. All right. Directory dot. Wait, I think I have a value util for this. Value utilities, yes. Then diagrams. There you go. If directory dot val directory exists, yes. If it, of course, if it doesn't exist, then we are going to create the directory. Directory dot create. Dear info is directory info. Wait, I thought we can just add in here. Oh, geez, it's just there. Also, maybe it's better to just make a small variable out of it. But yes, no diagrams. That's the one that we want. No, it's completely suggesting the wrong one. This is exactly what my point about the writer, that is sometimes giving the wrong suggestions. Doesn't matter. And we have a pet. Yes. Which is nice. And then we will add this part in here. Let me see. We have val exist, but the diagrams that exist. Yes, then we are making sure that the. Wait, I think it's better to just do it like this. Then we have always access to it. All right. Public enumerable, because we also need to have something that we can fetch all the current files. Enumerable string, and then get files directory enumerate files. Can we also specify a filter search pattern? Yes. Dot JSON should be good enough. That's perfect. That's always the preparation part, right? Action will be later. All right. Then we have that part. Yes. Get files, public. Then we're going to first going to make the loader. Load. And then it's an enumeral again with an I visual item. Load files. Get file, select, read all texts. No. String. File. Get files. Yes. Should be fine. Okay, okie dokie. Read text and with indeed with the settings. And no, 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 no. We are not going to do it like this. Then we're going doing it like this, because we don't want to load everything in. That's a bit overkill. Read all texts. String. Yes. And this is list with visual items. Then it should be happy. But I don't think we can make this as a one-liner, because we also need to safeguard if this is really, if the file really exists. Let's just make sure that this is correct. Well, we can also just make sure. Oh. If the file dot exists, then we have file. No, and then with an ignore. There you go. Return. No. There you go. Load files. All right. Load file. Is that really? I was just thinking if we load a file that it's just going to remember the file, or just are we just going to remember the name of the file? What will be better? No, 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 no. No, we are just going to make sure that the void save file, yes, write all text, JSON all settings. All right. Not as a one-liner. There you go. All right. But what does it do if the creates a new file, write to a specific file and close the file? If the target already exists, it is overwritten. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. All right. Sounds good. Actually, it's funny because we have a centralized way to open the editor, but it's not really a visual item. The thing that I am just currently thinking about is, are we how are we managing that that you can edit or specify the file? I think I am just going to temporary override. Yeah, I going to make a special interface for it. So we have at least a custom way to open up the editor, or we can. Yeah, no, I think we're not going to overcomplicate it because we have already the editor, and I'm just thinking a way that you can specify the name of this file without, of course, setting the JSON name. And also, there is one thing that I really want to prevent, but combine. So we have in here, we have the bots and then the val, which is great. And in here, we have the get files, but what we really don't want to add is the whole location. Plus JSON. Yeah, and I also don't want people to write the extension name. Load file, yes, yes, yes. JSON convert, and then we are making sure that this is also specified. I can make a private variable of it. Private void, no, string, get full pot. Now, pot, and then plus dot JSON. So now at least we have a centralized way to specify the name, which is the file, which is perfect. Hey, hello Lily. How are you doing? Settings, this is great. Cool. Save the rights. Then we are putting it in here. Write all file text, and then we make sure that we are setting the centralized item not in there. Then Dennis. Then get full pets. Making sure that everything is nicely packed and clean. And we also want to specify it in here. And now it's probably going to whine about the that's a really great slogan indeed. When you take away what's wrong, everything will be all right. But at the same time, it doesn't really sound that positive. But indeed, let's keep the positive vibes in here. Speaking of positive vibes, I currently wrote the a JSON converter, so we are able to write everything for within this list into the JSON. And the big challenge is that because we are using an interface which can have different data. So in the JSON, we need to know which type of object will be loaded in. And also we need to parse it back. And that's basically the whole role of this JSON, this visual item converter. Now I am making a separate data loader service to make sure that we are not extending the main game object again. Otherwise, because the main game object is already, let me see, yeah, without a comment, 300 lines. So let's not extend that too much. You do have some experience with working with JSON files? Also, I must say that I did prepare a little bit because I have here my own utility that I can just make my own notes, and I put some examples and things because, yeah, you will be surprised, but I am not a machine and I cannot remember everything. So, and this is not something I am writing every day. So I thought let's just add some examples and then go line for line what it does, and then I'm completely sure that I know what it's doing, and then and that way we can write everything out and prevent possible bugs in the future. Of course, it's fun to see to do some bug tracking, of course, and bug slapping, but personally, I really like to prevent it. All right. But no further ado, let's make sure that we have everything in here. And here we have a nice, this is what we're calling a link statement. And we can convert everything well, for file info, then we can get the file info, and that way we get the file name. Because what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that everything gets loaded in from a specific directory, which I'm automatically going to create a folder in here, which is called diagrams. And it will just automatically remove the complete path and also the extension. Because I don't really like that people have control to change the extension or the location. And also I didn't want to implement a full open and close dialog for now to limit the scope. So that's the reason why I am doing this conversion for now. And everything is now correctly set up. Everything sounds good. And now comes the other challenge, is that we need to make sure that we have somehow a way to specify the name, because that's also currently not in the main game object. But I was just thinking to make it also public for now. So I'm going to add a public string name, which is called, we just going to, string name is an get and then set. And for now, we just going to add the date time dot date time dot now to string. And that should be good enough. Nah. All right. All right. Now at least we have a way to open, or that we have a name for the diagram. And the next part, what we want to do is making sure that we are able to add this specific one. And I was thinking to just add this in the editor. But here we have a challenge because we are setting here the item. Oh no, we don't have a challenge. If then I think we just temporarily going to use no raylib dot key. Come on. Oh wait, it's using the wrong one. There you go. I was just searching for the functions, but it's it's actually a funny thing is that because in my libraries I have a namespace which is called Meatcorps engine raylib with an uppercase L, but for all the raylib functions itself, it's raylib with an lowercase, and I did this with purpose, so we have a differentiation between the actual implementations and one from me. Otherwise, you're always fighting which one you really want. And normally, it's always picking mine because everything is written in my Meatcorps engine namespace. So yeah, then it will be really a pain in the ass to get the raylib functions. So, but now we are going to use F4 and is key down? No, is key pressed? Then we have here a private. Oh wait, no, we have a public. Is edit? Is name edit open? No, we can better say block with a bool block the editor, which is a get and a set, and then you can already guess what it's going to do. It's going to block anything with the key bindings inside the main game object. So if you are typing something, then we're making sure that it's not going to override write everything. But we also need to have something, a bool for the edit window itself, the name window itself. Also, we don't have access. This is an interesting situation because we don't have access here to the main game object, but at the same time, the editor is already open. What we can do, block the editor, public, nah. I'm sorry, I'm thinking for a bit because the problem is that we cannot really inherit the editor, so otherwise we have a cross link. But we can, yes, that's the way to solve it. What we can do is just I think it's easier to place the name in here. The name, the dialog name is get set, and then in the main game object we have this one. So we basically just going to move this one in here. Then we don't have to fight that specific part. All right. Is key pressed F4, then it's going to say name no. Is key press F4. Then we want to show the rename file. This is always allowed to resize indeed. Then and we also need to make sure we have the public bool the public bool the name. It's private bool edit name. It's is in this case true. No, false. Yes. All right. Is key pressed. Then we going to say edit name. And of course, we're going to block it when the item. We're only going to allow it when the item is null, because otherwise we are fighting with two overviews, which is not really great. Then we're going to do this with the name. There you go. All right. And how are we going to? This is only a getter, by the way, and we only going to set it when the edit name or item is null. There you go. Now we have a clean approach to do it. If edit name, then we're going to say here, and we're going to return, because we don't want to run anything related in here. And also we want to have the button, of course. There you go. Perfect. And we have the editor, and we don't want to do the edit on draw. Ref name, yeah, and that's what I already expected, because you cannot edit and get a setter directly. So I first need to make an internal variable. Then we need to specify the name. And we also going to replace everything related to with this to this, to make sure that we are not able to make this mistake. It's that we're not going to add things related to something like a pot or something. So that's something that we really don't want. Done. Then if then the edit name is false. There you go. Cool. That's good. So now we have at least a way that we can edit the name with F4. It's going to be F2, F3. Yes. going to be maybe in the future, I'm probably just going to add a tool belt on the left or something, because otherwise we are just going to using all the F keys, and then you need to remember all the F keys. It's not really a nice approach to do it, but yeah, this editor is still in the early stages, so let's keep it for now simple. Do you agree? So we have now the editor, and also I prefer to render it also out in the main game object itself. Raylib dot draw texts x. All right, font dot no font get fonts fps. Really, Raylib is really sometimes really interesting in his suggestions. Then it's editor.name. But now comes the challenge, is that because we are now putting it to 00, and then you're probably going to ask, what are you talking about, Dennis? Well, let me start it up. Then you will see. You can see the name is now here. Which the main reason why it's now here is that because we have also a camera. So in the future, we can just also move around. But we don't want to have it here. We want to have it somewhere here. So what we can do is we can ask the camera the current, I think we can go to world to screen. World pulse, the screen position. Then we can say, all right, new, do with a small offset. And then, of course, we don't want to create a new vector in here. Nope. And if I implement it correctly, now it should be on the top left. And it is. We have now it here. But I think I'm going to give it an additional offset, because otherwise it's, because of my visuals, it's not really readable. Yeah, this is way better. Now, also we need to make sure that we are understanding that it's about the name of the diagram. Name. All right. Yeah. Maybe in the future we will make it a little bit better, but for now I think it's, in my opinion, good enough. Oh, I completely forgot. Does the F4 work? F4. Yes. But of course, we are not blocking the UI still. Also, before I started the stream, I also did a small refactor. So every key is now bind to this, to those functions. And we are putting it in here. So now we can edit type. Or the editor dot block the editor. And I think in this case, we even want to ignore the escape. Because if the block editor is, oh no. Always, otherwise we get really strange scenarios. And we also want to block the mouse when we are saying block the editor. Otherwise it's doing only partially the job. So now if we're now going to press F4, then we are not editing anything, but now we can at least edit the field here and we can say done, but we are not editing the hey, that's strange. Why are we not editing the name? Oh, of course, we are not setting it back. Small mistake, but now it should work. Let's see. Are we now able to edit the name? Yes, we can. Hello. Yes, amazing. Done. Okay. But now comes the most interesting question. Are we able to save diagram? Can we do that? Of course we can do that. But let's see if we can do it. Let's create our new shiny data loader service. And let's create it. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. New shiny stuff are it's always fun to have our fun stuff. Let's open up the update dialog and let's open if is key down control. Let's just use the default one. Keyboard key dot control. Control. Oh, funny. We have left control and live control. Is we're going to say S. That's the very common way to save it, right? Then we have the diagram loader service dot save file with the editor dot name, I think. Yes, the name. What is it complaining about? Oh, because we also need to specify the visual items. There you go. Should be as easy as this. I hope. All right. Then we have already let's use F5 for now because then you have F4 for editing the name and then you have F5 for loading the file. It's going to be like the first version of Blender. Just remember a lot of shortcuts and then you can use it. First shortcuts, then everything else. All right. Then we go into the visual items dot clear. And we going to visual items at range Oh, wait. Var, let's safeguard it. Var items is this one. If items is not null, because the thing is that if something with the parsing goes wrong, then then you don't want to wipe everything. But now it also doesn't give a clear message, but I also don't really have a proper implementation to send notifications. So in that regard, I don't think that's really great. All right. But now we have at least a way. Oh, wait. I don't want to use left control in this case. So we have F5 for loading, and we have S for saving. Then if this is working, the next step will be a nice drop down that we can select which file we want. So debug, yes. So I'm just going to edit something. And there you go, there you go. Also fill some random stuff in. Hello, everybody. 3, 1. Oh, I cannot type. There you go. Everyone. Also, I did able to finish my goal from the previous stream. I can now also add lines. Ta-da! All right. So now we're going to press F4, and then we're going to say my first diagram. Done. And now we're going to press Ctrl S and see if it's going to crash. Yes, it's going to crash. Self-referencing loop detected. Wait. Why? From object, write JSON. Okay. For type, text notes, but 0. Check for circular references. Oh boy. This is not great. Serializer, value object. Why are I'm getting an self-referencing type? Oh boy. Yeah, visual items, node line. And why are we not getting this item correctly set up? Because we have a node line, which is a visual line. It's wait, let me search up if it's really a problem with the for which reason do we need the visual? Because if we need to detect if it's a valid move. Because this is the only object that requires this item. Let's just comment this for now, and let's comment this part out, and let's make it yellow all the time. Then we can at least see if this is really the issue. Circular, right? The downside is that we now not are able to see if it's because we are basically speaking about DTOs. Let's drag this one, and if we now press Ctrl S, do we have an error? Self-referencing loop detected. Ah. Okay. But why? There's nothing that it is referencing to itself. Or oh wait, I still have it in here. Main game object, main game object. Oh, this is going to be problematic because we have a lot of text references in here, but I think we can get around this. Okay. Okay, let's ignore the text for now because I just want to know if this is really the issue. Let's create what's text size. Oh, yeah, of course. Then let's comment this part out, this comment part out. Let's yes. Now, as expected, we don't see any text, but that's expected. And if I now press Ctrl S, does it save? No, because it's still self-referencing and loop detected in type text node. Interesting. Let me search stop because this is a bit starting to become a bit confusing. Stack Overflow. Let's zoom in a bit so you can also see. It's calling something about. I can use this serialize object to list the JSON datetime converter. I had with the parent-child collection that found in the post which will solve my case. I only want to show the list with the parent collection and didn't need anything else. Oh, you can. Is this really the solution that you can just say JSON serialize settings and then disable it? Is it that simple? That will be nice. Because it will really be a pain in the ass if I'm not can do this. So I'm now just going to revert those things because I really like this functionality back. There you go. And also for the node line, we are going to put everything back. Cool. So in that regard, we are now doing this part and then inside the visual item converter. Yes. Okay, dokie. Data loader service. No, yes, in here we have the converters settings dot reference loop handling is ignore. Okay. I think this is the same thing that it's going to reference here in the yeah, ignore. Cool. But now comes the question, does it work? Debug. We're going to do this, we're going to change this, we're going to change the name to this, and then we're going to press Ctrl S. The object reference is not an instance of an object. It's really not really happy. It's a text node. Yes. False. ID bounce. This is correct. False. Why is this an... Just out of curiosity, if I am now just going to disable this converter and I'm trying to save this, is it then able to save it? Or is it also going to be... I mean, this is not the way that you should do it, but... No. Write alt text. Oh, wait. That's strange. It is able to serialize it without my converter. So that's interesting. All right. No issue. We can address this. But first in the editor, we are setting the datetime now.string, but I think we are not... I don't think I am going to use this. I'm going to use GUID.newGUID.toString because the timestamp is giving issues. So now we have just a random long string in here. Yeah, it's a bit long, but doesn't really matter. All right. Then we can we now save it? Yes, we can save it. And if we open up in Explorer, then let's check diagrams, and indeed it generated. But it didn't. But we don't have the specific type inside it, which is not correct. So, but why is it complaining about this specific value? Wait, let's add a breakpoint in here. And let's turn back the converter, debug. All right. Let's add something. And yes, and the value is really something. And the JSON proxy is also correct. And if I'm now token.type. Token is null. From object to internal object is in here, and then the JSON serializer. That's really strange. The J object from object is not able to serialize this. But if I'm just using the normal serialize, then I can do it. JSON is returning null. Yes. From object. And oh wait. What if I'm just going to do this? Will it then work? Okay. Yes. Wow. If you're not putting in the JSON serialize proxy, then it does work. Really? Wow. What's the point then to add the JSON serializer itself? Yeah, but I think then it doesn't have the reference object for it. And it's, oh wait, it is exiting the writer, so it should be fine. I think. Also, I prefer that when we are saving the JSON, JSON convert JSON settings, we have the settings in here, and we can also settings dot formatting is indeed indented. It's in my opinion looking better. All right, let's clear those. Clear the noise. Can we save? Yes. Yes. Then also add a line in between. And also we are going at 2. I have full confidence that we are able to do this. That will be amazing. But we will add 4. Oh boy, this is a long one. Then we're going to make this my awesome dialog. Done. Can we save this, please? Yes. Then it should create a nice diagram. Yes. Look at this. Woohoo! We have data. And also with the type and a node line and everything else. Amazing. All right. Let's close this one. Oh, this is cool. So now, if we now we're going to do a second test, because this is a bit odd, but if we are now pressing F4 and we're going to give it the same name, my awesome dialog. That's the name, right? My awesome dialog. Yes. So And also we are in Windows, so uppercase, lowercase doesn't really matter. All right. And then if we press F5, then we should see everything back. Which is, oh yes, that's correct, because we everything is null. Yes. Almost. In here we are at range, but first we doing at select x dot initialize this. No, just make it easier. Then visual items dot. Oh, this is amazing. We have almost a working loading and saving. Then I don't have to repeat everything. All right, item. Yes, amazing. Almost there. Okay, and initialize. And the items, and then we do an initialize. All right, because the issue was that I was not initializing this the object itself. So there was the small issue. So now that should be addressed, and now we should be able to load everything. Now comes the magic moment. All right, so we are now going to say here my awesome dialog, because remember we have it over here as the file, which is the JSON file with the actual dialog data. Then we're going to say done. Then it doesn't do nothing yet. If I press F5, right, why is it still null? Oh, why is null, right? Is it too fast or something? No. If main object is null, return. Let's safeguard it first. Same for the node line. On drag. It's almost like a movie. You're almost at the point that it's going to work, but okay. Debug. Because it should. Wait. For now, I am just going to make it my life a bit easier, because every time I need to fill in the name, which is a bit repetitive. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of GUID new GUID, I'm just going to say my awesome dialog, because we as programmers prefer to be lazy and not doing repetitive tasks. That's a bit counterintuitive as a developer. All right, my awesome dialog. Then let's fire it up. Okay, then at least we don't have to do that every time. Then we're going to say F5, and nothing is happening. Why? Is it still not doing anything? Why? Load file, F5, item. Oh, jeez. Yes. Oh, jeez. I've completely forgot that I was iterating in the already existing items. So now, and there you go. Boom. We can now load everything in. So the first part, let me open up that specific screenshot again. We can now at least, we have the main game object, and we have the data loader servers, with Newtonsoft for the serialize and deserialize to the JSON file. So this part is now at least working. So the basic goal for this stream is now done, but let's just be frank or clear. And I mean, it's not really an interesting way that you need to fill in the exact name to open up something. Because I also exposed in the main game object, in the dialog loader, the which files are currently there. So what we can do is here in the editor, then it should just have access to the to this specific files, and then we can say public, no, private, the main, no, how do you call it? The data loader service. Yes. All right. Then we're gonna create the data. Then no, we're not going to initialize it here. And the best part now, I mean, it's not really that clean, but we can now at least have access it in here, because in the data loader service, we can ask which files are currently there. And that's the reason why we need to expose it. Set data loader service is data loader service. This is finally something that Ryder is suggesting. Just great. This is awesome. All right. So we have the data loader service in here now, and we need to put it in the main scene. No, in the main game object. We need to specify it in here. Then the editor is in here. Editor dot the loader service. Yes. And we can then just say the data loader service. Then at least that one has access to it. We can connect, and it's connected. And now comes the interesting part, is that in the editor, we need to somehow fill in the options that we can load existing ones. So edit name is done. Yes. So edit name is true. And I think it's safer to just say here the block the editor, and it isn't blocking the editor. Then we can say edit name is true. All right. Then we're going to combine it with Shift F4, raylib dot is key down plus end, and let's have the keyboard key dot left shift. All right, and let's make sure that we have everything in here. All right, block the editor. Yes, and then Shift F5, edit no, then we are not going to use edit name, but we're going to add a second one in here, which is called open file. Yes. In here, no, open file. If open file, else edit file, then we making sure. Hey, Erik. Thanks, man. I thought I can just doing what I'm just doing normally in the living room. I thought I can just also just doing it live, right? And then also people can enjoy or ask questions or anything else, right? All right. So this part is now finally enabled, and of course, are you eager to start to learn C Sharp? Maybe for your Raspberry Pi projects. I mean, C Sharp can also run on a Raspberry Pi, and it's also a nice way to automate it. Things. I mean, you have seen it on the Halloween party. All right. Open file. Then we're going to copy paste this part. Yes. And I don't think yes, Ride is already saying that we don't need to use this. And then we have IMGui. And we have IMGui dot selectable read only span spar jar. Okay, label selected. How is I never use this implementation, so bear with me. Select file and then I am GUI dot and just I'm quickly going to search up. Yeah, well, that's true. Well, actually, that's funny that you were bringing this up. What's people's opinion about using AI in general on development? In my opinion, I mean, ChatGPT or just in general, AI is fine, but you also need to understand what it's doing. That's personally my opinion about using AI. I'm also using it. So because those small examples that I have in here in my notes, those are also partially coming from AI. But I really make sure that everything that I am writing here that I completely understand what it's doing, because otherwise it's really interesting if you are in some specific issue that it's breaking something, or then at least with the troubleshooting, then you at least can fix it yourself, or you need to ping pong it back to AI, and then you are basically in a loop, which is a pain in the ass, I can tell. Speaking of AI, I am GUI. Let's search and let's see if we can get an example for the I am GUI selectable, and then for an I am GUI drop down something. Drop down button with options. Pop up, and we are. I'm quickly just going to search for a way that we can do it. begin button, drop down button. Is this what we want? If button, no. No, that's not really what I was searching for. Examples. There was a nice website that you can just look everything up quickly. IMGui examples. No, it's also not one. Then we have here a tutorial. Interactive for quick coding with. Use the. I think AI is useful for quick coding, but you still need to know how to solve the problems yourself. For one time, I keep rewriting the code, and every new version had a different issue. Exactly, that's exactly also my point. Because the problem in general with AI is that when eventually the AI is you're just iterating and iterating and iterating, then it's starting to have then it's going to float, and that's if it's going to start with those specific things, or it's going to reuse things that he remember from his memory, then it's going to mix things up, and then you are basically in one big hell. No. Why is it so hard to get just a nice example overview? Widgets. There you go. There I am GUI widgets. Widgets online. That's I liked communication. All right. I'm going to do an unpopular decision. I'm going to use ChatGPT. Let's ask C#. I am GUI. How to create top down. Place top down combo. I'm GUI items. Oh, it's called a combo. There you go. Now I at least know why. You see? Nice example why it's sometimes quicker to just quickly just ask ChatGPT, and then referencing index items. Okay. And it's saying that the current item is this one. Okay, yeah. So we have it in here, the current items, and the yes. Or do we really want to have it in here? Because now we do have a small problem that if I am going to put the loader in here, then every frame it's going to ask the disk to load everything in, which is a bit of an overkill in my opinion. But if we just going to just request it, then I think we are fine. So we can also put it in here, private list with with string and file items. There you go. Then we don't have to do it every time when the loop is running. Then otherwise we're going to kill the SSD. It is not something that we really want, right? All right. But we are in here and we're going to open the file and open file is true. Then we need to add additional logic in here. File items is data get file names. No. Get files. To list. There you go. All right. And what is the items that he really like to have in here? That's oh, it's just an array. So I think then instead of doing this, we can just make an array. Yes, like this, and then do it like this. No, oh, we can also just. All right. Well, items. Now we have at least a place where we can put everything in to array. There you go. And then we don't have to convert it. Otherwise, the garbage collection is going to kill us. Items.length. And this is then the current index. Yes. Private int current val index is null. All right. Yes. All right. Val index is 0. All right. And here we're going to say val index. Yes, because it also needs to know the current state. All right. So now we know when something is selected. Then if done, then open file is false. And oh boy, now we have an issue because we need to send back on GUI updates, but this is not an interface. Yes, this is an interface. Oh boy. Yeah, the problem is that I somehow need to invoke that we are loading data in. But this is going to be a mess. But at least we can now say the main game object. Okay, main game object. Now we have an. I'm basically just making a circular the dependency around it, which is not really a nice way to do this. Yeah, I think the main issue is that I don't have any central servers currently. And this may be something for the that I'm going to refactor off camera. But for now, let's do it like this. Then at least we can make sure that we have this part done within the time. All right. Let's make sure that we have the doesn't expose the main object. Nope, it doesn't. So now we're going to rename it, and we're going to call it public with an get. There you go. Now we should able to access it. Have access to it. Yes, which is great. Get files, file open, and then we can open here in the main game object. We are somewhere we are loading in the data. And yes, items, yes. So instead of calling here this one, then we could just going to say here public voids load data inner base items. There you go. And items is not null. It can be a nullable. Possible multiple iterations. Yeah, I don't care. Rider, it's fine. All right. Load data items. So in here we have now refactored that we have a central way to communicate. Otherwise, I need to copy paste it, and that's something that we never want. And in here we are making sure inside the data loader service visual item. No. Now I'm floating a bit. All right. In the editor, now we have at least access to it. And then when we are done, then we're going to load data items current index with the main game object. Load data, load file. All right. Done. Or we can also say, oh, no. All right. Then we can also say cancel. If cancel, then we just simply going to close it. All right. Load file items. This is not correct. No. Oh yeah, well, yeah, this is correct, but we also need to specify the name. All right. I don't think we need to do something in here. So maybe I can just remove this if statement, but let's test it out. But before we're going to do that, is that we first need to make sure that this is returned back to normal. And all right, now we have now we can do Shift F5. Wait, what was the key? Yeah, Shift F4. Shift F4. Oh. Hey, it does work. That's cool. Done. Yay! It works. But also the other one is still open. Okay. Well, those are small issues. We can handle those just fine. Else if. All right. Oh, yeah. Edit file or open file. Yes. So that's the reason why it was opening everything at the same time. Cool. Debug. All right. So we're going to do it again. Done. Then we have our diagram. I can add stuff into it, and then I can let's do F4. Then I can rename it and I can call it number 2. And then I am going to save this one. Yes, I still need to make a notification that you can see that it's actually saved. But if you look here, it actually saved. And now, if I am now using the correct button, again, to Shift F4, then it should open up this one, done, then it's back again. But if I am now use F4 and I'm going to open this one, done, there you go. Do you see it? Do you see it, guys? It's it works. So we have successfully made sure that we can load and save data, and we can also select from a list. And the most beautiful part from this is that if we are going to add additional nodes, if it's based on this specific interface, then it's automatically going to extend it. And that way we are able to easily extend it without thinking about the serializing and deserializing of it. So now comes the biggest question, because we have 8 minutes left. What should you really like for the next stream on Monday? What do you really like to see that it's going to be at, or do we want to have a different topic that we're going to tackle, or let me know. But at least this is now working. And also maybe some people are can maybe ask why I am making this utility is because an aimbot for okay, yeah. I am afraid I do have my limitations in the topics that I can handle, but an aimbot. Okay, yeah. Well, at least I can maybe write out the diagram for to how to maybe create an aimbot. So the guy is actually gonna make it, then it can at least do it. But yeah, what I just wanted to say is that this is going to be used for my documentation, and also for the how do you call it, for the videos. And at the same time, I also really like to add animations as well. That, for example, when on specific timestamps, that some items will be gone, and maybe another item will be different size at certain timestamps. So you really have then a nice visual overview. And then you can also make animations of it. But yeah, at least everything is now finished and rounded up, which is make me very happy. Most important part is that we need to commit everything, edit, save, and load functionality. Just a small recap. We had some challenges with saving things or loading things, and also the few examples that I had, there were also some minor issues, and I still don't have a clue why in the let me open it up. In here, in the where is it? This one, yes. In the right JSON, why this is not why if we are putting the serializer proxy, that then it's going to throw a null pointer. But for some strange reason, if I'm just doing this, then it's all fine. Maybe it's trying to reference it back or something, could be, but I found it a bit odd that if I'm not using the visual item converter, then it's just doing everything fine. And also at the same time, I thought everything that is private, that should automatically already get ignored by the parser because it's no public data. And that was indeed also the case. But at least we have it works now. So that's it. And are there any so for the upcoming stream that will be on Monday, I will probably going to add a post on my channel, which people can vote again for which topic they want to handle. I know that in the previous and this one, I was mostly doing data-driven or big refactors. But I think for the next one, we really have a nice, interesting topic. Then I am going to add the animations, which will be a very visual thing to see. And see how far we can go with that. All right. Then this is everything. Basically, the goal is done for this today, part 2 of the stream. And then I really hope everyone to see in part 3 of the stream. Then I'm going to say until next time. And bye. And also thank you everyone. Thanks for watching.